Today we will see class 10 science chapter 6 life processes. Questions. 1. What are the difference between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition? 2. Where do plants get each of the raw materials required for photosynthesis? 3. What is the role of the acid in our stomach? 4. What is the function of the digestive enzymes? 5. How is the small intestine designed to absorb the digested food? 6.3 Respiration. Activity 6.4 Take some freshly prepared lime water in a test tube. Blow air through this lime water. Note how long it takes for the lime water to turn milky. Use a syringe or a pitchfork to pass air through some fresh lime water taken in another test tube, figure 6.7. Note how long it takes for the lime water to turn milky. What does this tell us about the amount of carbon dioxide in the air that we breathe out? Figure 6.7a. Air being passed into the lime water with the pitchfork or syringe. B. Air being exhaled into lime water. A. Lime water, rubber tube, pitchfork. Test tube containing lime water, tube. Activity 6.5 Take some fruit juice or sugar solution and add some yeast to this. Take this mixture in a test tube filtered with 1/4 cup. Fill the cup with the blunt glass tube. Dip the free end of the glass tube into a test tube containing freshly prepared lime water. What change is absorbed in the lime water and how long does it take for this change to occur? What does this tell us about the products of fragmentation? We have discussed nutrition in organism in the last section. The food material taken in during the process of nutrition is used in cells to provide energy for various life processes. Diverse organisms do this in different ways. Some use oxygen to break down glucose completely into carbon dioxide and water. Some use other pathways that do not involve oxygen. Figure 6.8. In all cases, the first step is breakdown of glucose 6 carbon molecule into a 3 carbon molecule called pyruvate. This process takes place in the cytoplasm. Further, the pyruvate may be converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. This process takes place in yeast during fragmentation. Since this process takes place in the presence of air oxygen, this is called anaerobic respiration. Breakdown of pyruvate using oxygen takes place in the mitochondria. This process breaks up the 3 carbon pyruvate molecule to give the 3 molecule of carbon dioxide. The other product is water. Since this process takes place in the presence of air (oxygen) is called aerobic respiration. The release of energy in this aerobic process is a lot greater than in anaerobic process. Sometimes when there is a lack of oxygen in our muscle cells, another pathway for the breakdown of pyruvate is taken. Here the pyruvate is converted into lactic acid, which is also a 3 carbon molecule. This built up the lactic acid in our muscles during certain activity causes cramps. Figure 6.8 breakdown of glucose by various pathways. Glucose, 6-carbon molecule in cytoplasm. Pyruvate, 3-carbon molecule plus energy. Absence of oxygen in yeast. Ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy, 3-carbon molecule. Lack of oxygen in our muscle cells. Lactic acid plus energy, 3-carbon molecule. Presence of oxygen in mitochondria. Carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. The energy released during cellular respiration is immediately used to synthesize a molecule called ATP, which is used to fuel all other activities in the cell. In these processes, ATP is broken down, giving rise to a fixed amount of energy which can drive the endothermic reactions taking place in the cell. More to know, ATP is the energy currency for most cellular processes. The energy released during the process of respiration is used to make an ATP molecule from ADP and inorganic phosphate. ADP plus P gives ADP plus P is equal to ATP in the presence of energy. P phosphate. Endothermic process in the cell then use this ATP to drive the reactions. When the terminal phosphate linkage in ATP is broken using water, the energy equivalent to 30.5 kg per mole is released. Think of how a battery can provide energy for many different kinds of uses. It can be used to obtain mechanical energy, light energy, electrical energy, and so on. Similarly, ATP can be used in the cells for the contraction of muscles, protein synthesis, conduction of nerve impulses, and many other activities. Since the aerobic respiration pathway depends on oxygen, aerobic organisms need to ensure that there is a sufficient intake of oxygen. We have seen that plants exchange gases through stomata, and the large intercellular spaces ensure that all the cells are in contact with the air. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are exchanged by diffusion here. They can go into the cells or away from them and out into the air. The direction of diffusion depends upon the environmental conditions and the requirements of the plant. At night, when there is no photosynthesis occurring, carbon dioxide elimination is the major exchange activity going on. During the day, carbon dioxide generated during the respiration is used up for photosynthesis. Hence, there is no carbon dioxide release. Instead, oxygen release is the major event at this time. Animals have evolved different organs for the uptake of oxygen from the environment and for getting rid of the carbon dioxide produced. Terrestrial animals can breathe the oxygen in the atmosphere, but the animals that live in water need to use oxygen dissolved in water. Activity 6.6. Observe the fish in an aquarium. They open and close their mouths and gill slits or operculum, which covers the gill slits. Behind their eyes also open and close. All or the timings of the opening and closing of the mouth and gill slits coordinate in some manner. Count the number of times the fish opens and closes its mouth in a minute. Compare this to the number of times you breathe in and out in a minute. Since the amount of dissolved oxygen is fairly low compared to the amount of oxygen in the air, the rate of breathing in aquatic organisms is much faster than seen in the terrestrial organisms. Fishes take in water through their mouths and forces it past the gills where the dissolved oxygen is taken up by blood. Terrestrial organisms use the oxygen in the atmosphere for the respiration. This oxygen is absorbed by different organs in different animals. All these organs have a structure that increases the surface area which is in contact with the oxygen-rich atmosphere. Since the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide has to take place across this surface is very fine and delicate. In order to protect this surface, it is usually placed within the body. So they have to passages that will take air to this area. In addition, there is a mechanism for moving the air in and out of this area where the oxygen is absorbed. In human beings, figure 6.9, air is taken into the body through the nostrils. The air passing through the nostrils is filtered by a fine hairs that line the passages. The passages is also lined with the mucus which helps in the process. From here, the air passes through the throat and into the lungs. The rings of the cartilage are present in the throat. These ensure that the air passages does not collapse. Here, figure 6.9, human respiratory system. Alveoli, respiratory bronchioles, nasal passage, mouth cavity, pancreas, larynx, trachea, rings of cartilage, bronchi, bronchioles, alveolar sac, diaphragm, ribs, lung. Within the lungs, the passage divides into smaller and smaller tubes which finally terminate in balloon-like structures which are called alveoli. The alveoli provide a surface where the exchange of gases can take place. The walls of the alveoli contain an extensive network of blood vessels. As we have seen in earlier years, when we breathe in, we lift our ribs and flatten our diaphragm, and the chest cavity becomes larger as a result. Because of this, air is sucked into the lungs and fills the expanded alveoli. The blood brings carbon dioxide from the rest of the body for release into the alveoli, and the oxygen in the alveolar air is taken up by blood in the alveolar blood vessels to be transported to all the cells in the body. During the breathing cycle, when the air is taken in and let out, the lungs always contain the residual volume of air so that there is a sufficient time for oxygen to be absorbed and for carbon dioxide to be released. When the body size of the animal is large, the diffusion pressure alone cannot take care of oxygen delivery to all parts of the body. Instead, the respiratory pigments take up oxygen from the air in the lungs and carry it to the tissues which are deficient in oxygen before releasing it. In human beings, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin, which has a very high affinity for oxygen. This pigment is present in the red blood corpuscles. The carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen is, and hence is mostly transported in the dissolved form in our blood. Do you know, if the alveolar surface were spread out, it would cover about 80 m squared. How much do you think the surface area of your body is? Consider how sufficient exchange of gases becomes because of the large surface available for the exchange to take place. If diffusion were to move oxygen in our body, it is estimated that it would take 3 years for a molecule of oxygen to get to our toes from our lungs. Aren't you glad that we have hemoglobin? Questions. 1. What advantage over an aquatic organism does a terrestrial organism have with regard to obtaining oxygen for respiration? 2. What are the different ways in which the glucose is oxidized to provide energy in various organisms? 3. How is oxygen and carbon dioxide transported in human beings? Number 4. How are the lungs designed in human beings to maximize the area for exchange of gases? Thank you. Please subscribe and share this video. If you like,